All right, Robert Grabers here. I'll give you a brief intro about my 7 year experience as a Python developer down the line later in this video, or you can read about it in my blog post. Also, I'm linking the blog post in the description of this video. But now I want you to pay attention because I'm gonna talk about a very important topic in Python, which is regular expressions. And especially, I'm going to talk about how to use regex groups in Python and how are they useful. So in this video and other series that I'm going to link in the description of this video, so this is going to be a multi-part video, and you should be able to find all the parts or at least the next part in the description of this video. So what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about what actually is regular expressions and how to import them in Python in your script. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how to think and come up with your own regular expression patterns, because it is difficult to come up with these patterns if you're not familiar with regex and haven't been using regex for a long time. So I'm going to show you my method, how I come up with these patterns, and in a very short time, and what technique I'm using. And then in one of the series of these videos, I'm gonna give you a real Python regex example, which was sent in by one of the readers of my blog, which is linked down in the description. So yeah, you will see the whole process of how to actually build the log parsing tool in Python and how to come up with regular expression patterns on your own in a very short time. So yeah, let's get started with that. So what are regular expressions in Python? So that's the one of the most important tools you will have to learn as a Python developer. If you're dealing with log files, log file parsing, text file parsing, if you want to find some sort of patterns in a text file or log file, and you want to find a way to extract specific strings from such a log file, that's when you will need to think about regular expressions. That's when you will need to come up with some sort of a pattern that you could use for regular expressions in Python. And I can tell you from my own experience, I've been working as a Python developer for many years, close to 7 or even 8, I don't know really. And currently I'm working in a fintech field, and I'm dealing with a lot of IDs, a lot of IBAN numbers, a lot of things that you sometimes need to extract with regular expressions. There is no real clear way to get to those values unless you're using regular expressions. And this is a very industry standard way of extracting things. So this is not something that you kind of learn just for fun, but this is something that people are actually using who work in the industry. And regex, regular expressions in Python, is one of the topics that can come up in Python developer interviews. I know I've had this question. I had the question about what is a regular expression, how to use them, can you explain them? I have had these questions in interviews, um, and my students have had such questions too. So my recommendation to you is just pay attention and learn about regular expressions, because they're gonna be useful for you in your career. All right, enough talking. Let's actually do something with the code, the sublime that I have here prepared with a simple print. So when it comes to regular expressions, your first question should be, how can I import regular expressions in Python and how can I start to use them. So it's very simple. If you are working with the newer versions of Python, so 3.9 and up, even more, I don't know from which version regular expressions were included into Python, but you should be able to just simply import re like this, and regular expressions should be available to you through re dot something, and then you could be able to, you should be able to use them. Very simple. All right, now you have the access to regular expression library through this re. And now I have added, I copied this text example from the blog post I've linked in the description. And this is a typical situation in Python. You could have a similar text. Let's assume this could be inside of a log file or somewhere else. And let's say you would want to extract specific parts of this text. Like, for example, only this number or maybe this number. How would you do that? How would you find what exactly to extract? For this case, you would use regular expressions. Of course, not always you need regular expressions. Sometimes you can get away with simple tools, simple built-in tools into Python like replace. So let's assume I know this part of the text and I know this part of the text, but the unknown part that I want to extract is this number. What I could do is I could say text1, use the original text, replace this part with an empty string like this, and then do another attempt, text2, use text1 now, and replace this part with also an empty string. And I believe, I haven't tested this, so I believe it should be just the number here, this one. Let's try it out. Yep, text2. So this is one way how you could extract. But this is not going to work in every situation. I gave you a very simple example here, but in real life, it's not going to be that easy always. And that's when you would use regular expressions. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you more in-depth tutorial example of how to use regular expressions in the following video. And if you want to read the whole blog post where I give you specific details, I explain everything in detail in text, find that link in the description of this video. All right, so yeah, if you want to continue, look for the second part in the description. I'm gonna give you, we're gonna move on to the more complicated stuff with regular expressions in the next video. And if you want me to help you become a Python developer, see if you can find my contact details below. Send me an email about your situation and I will see if I can do anything for you. I already helped a couple of students. You can find all the details of that in the description.